Hello students. Student, in the previous lecture, we have seen the concept of error handling. What basically a error handler can do? What is the meaning of the term handling? We have found that handling means the detection of error, reporting of those errors as well, and recovery from those from that errors. So a handler can do, or a error handler has the responsibility of detecting the errors, reporting those errors to the programmer, and tries to recover from those errors. Today, we will discuss the code optimization phase of compiler. What if we don't have a optimization phase in our compiler design? What side effect we will get? We will discuss these points also. Various optimization techniques, type of optimization. These are the agenda, or these are the topics that we will discuss in today's lecture. Before we go to the further discussion, first of all, concepts comes in the mind. What if we don't have this kind of concepts in the compiler construction? Because we are good in programming. Suppose we are very good in programming and we are doing a code in a very optimized manner. So is it necessary a compiler have this kind of phase? If it is necessary for all the compiler construction, then what is the need to do some optimized programming? These are some confusions, or these are some questions arises in our mind. So today we will discuss all those topics and all those concepts in very detailed manner. So we will see the definition and advantages of code optimization, type of code optimization, various optimization techniques, uh, very specific loop optimization, and some loop optimization techniques. So what basically optimization meaning? What is it basically optimization says? Optimization refers to a technique used by the compiler or any device to improve the execution efficiency of the target generated object code. So what is the meaning of this statement? It means we can improve the program efficiency by eliminating the unnecessary code of lines and arranging in a statement in such a sequence that speed up the program execution without wasting the resources. This is a very important line, without wasting the resources, or we can say that we can maximum utilize the resource and optimize the programming. This is the sometimes we have a concept that optimization means we have to reduce or we have to cut the number of lines and our code will get optimized. No, the answer is straightforward, no. If your program is very linear, it doesn't mean it is not optimized. Or if your program is very short, it doesn't mean it is very you did your programming in very optimized manner. So optimization means you use the resources available in such a manner you get a very efficient target code, or you get the very efficient output. So if we are a very good programmer and we are programming in such a manner, we don't we are doing our programming in very optimized manner, what happens, or what this code optimization will do? If we are really very good programmer, then this code optimization will do nothing. We are doing our code in a very efficient manner, then there is no need of this code optimization. But it is very rare. It is like if a robot is doing some sort of program which is predefined, then it can happen. But as a programmer, as a human being, we do not do such a programming which doesn't need any optimization, or we do the 100% optimized, we perform the 100% optimized code in manual manner. It is very rare a chance. So code optimization eliminates your unnecessary line of code, arrange those codes in a systematic manner so that the program execution will get faster and it will utilize the maximum resources. So what are the advantages? It executes your program very faster manner, efficient memory uses, it improves the program's performance. Before this further discussion, is it necessary to perform every code in optimized manner, or when to do the code optimization, or what are the things that we need to consider? So there are two important issues that need to be considered while doing the code optimization, that are they ensures that the transform program is semantically equivalent to the original program. It means if we are doing the optimization, it will never change the semantics of the program. Number one. And number two, whatever algorithm we are using to develop our program, it doesn't get changed. It doesn't mean we are optimizing our code will change our algorithm or it will change our program semantics. No, we have to optimize our code in such a way that it will never hamper or it will never change the semantics and the algorithm of the program. So effort for the optimized code can be made at various level of compiling that I discussed, like when to optimize the code. There are three steps or three times or three way you can optimize your code. First, at the beginning, means you are as a real programmer, or you are as a very good coder. So you are doing your program in such a manner that there is no need of rearrangement, or there is no need of algorithm betterment, or there is no unnecessary line of code you have performed. So at the beginning, if you are doing your code, it means you are performing some optimization. So at the beginning, user can change or rearrange the code or use better algorithm to write the code. Means before compilation, you are doing some optimization in your end, that you are doing your code in a very optimized manner. Second, after generating the intermediate code. After generating the intermediate code, the compiler can modify the intermediate code by address calculations or and loop improvement. So this is the phase that this is the area that compiler performs some of code optimization. After code intermediate code generation, we have three address code. These three address code need some optimization also. So if your code is optimized, you will get the better result in your target code or final code. Okay, so the second effort that you need to yeah that the second effort for the optimized code is, after generating your intermediate code, the compiler can modify the intermediate code by address calculation and improving the loops. Third code optimization effort that you made while producing the target machine code. Now this code optimization can be an inbuilt feature of your intermediate code generation also, or it can be your inbuilt feature of your target code generation also. So we are generating your target code in a very systematic or optimized manner. It doesn't mean, it means you are taking your intermediate code as a unoptimized code, then perform some optimization, and then produce some target machine code. So there are three efforts that you can make while code optimization. As a beginner, or at the beginning of the program, means you are doing your programming in a very systematic or very optimized way. Number two, your compiler translates your intermediate code in a very optimized way, so that your final code get in very optimized. And last, after converting your target code, you perform some optimization so that the better output or better result you can, yeah, or better target code you can generate. So there are two types of code optimization. Number one, machine independent optimization, and number two is machine dependent optimization. In machine independent optimization, you do not use the inbuilt machine CPU registers, or you do not use the absolute memory location. It means you are optimizing your code without taking the without using the CPU registers, without using the absolute memory location. Okay, if you are using these two things, or the things which are machine dependent, then your code will be machine dependent code, or your code will be very specific in machine dependent optimized code. Okay, so in machine independent optimization, we do not use these two concepts, like we do not use the memory register for code optimization, and we do not use the absolute memory location for the code optimization. So we can say that in machine independent optimization, code optimization phase attempts to improve the intermediate code to get better target code as the output. The part of the intermediate code which is transformed here does not involve any CPU register or absolute memory location. Okay, in machine dependent optimization, the optimizer or the code optimizer uses these hardwares, or uses these systems resources. Okay, so in machine dependent optimization is done after a target code has been generated, and when the code is transformed according to the target machine architecture. It involves chief CPU register and may have absolute memory references rather than relative references. Machine dependent optimizer put effort to take maximum advantage of the memory hierarchy. So machine independent optimization, we do not use these CPU registers and absolute memory locations. It means we are using this machine independent optimization after the intermediate code generation. We perform this optimization technique after the intermediate code generation, while the machine dependent optimization we perform after the target code generation. We generated our target code, then optimize or analyze that target code. If there are some optimization is needed, we perform this machine dependent optimization, and this machine dependent optimization is intended for that machine only. There are various optimization techniques. In some references, I had found various definitions related to this optimization technique. Like some says there are three type of optimization technique. Number one is dead code elimination. Number two is common sub expression elimination, and number three is loop optimization. Some says there are different books are saying different types of optimization technique, but in nutshell, there are these some important in optimization technique present in or used by the compiler, like dead code elimination, code movement, strength reduction, common sub expression elimination, and compile time evaluation. So we will discuss each and every optimization technique one by one. Number one is compile time evaluation. So in compile time evaluation, there are two concepts. Number one is constant folding, and number two is constant propagation. Number one, what constant folding says, if we have some numeric value, like we have a we have to calculate the circumference of the circle, and 24, which is equivalent to the 22 by 7 into diameters, then at the compile time, compiler evaluate this 22 by 7, and at the time of execution it will not calculate this 22 by 7. It is calculated at the time of at the time of compilation only, and when the program is in the execution phase, it put that value, which is 3.14 into the diameter. So it will save the time, or we can say it will save the runtime. So in constant folding, as the name suggests, it involves the folding the constant. The expression that contains the operands having constant values at compile times are evaluated. Those expressions are then replaced with their respective results. While in the case of constant propagation, what we can do, it is same as the constant folding. In constant folding, we are calculating the value of this 22 by 7 at the time of compilation, and putting this 22 by 7 answer to the at the time of execution, which will save our runtime. While in the case of constant propagation, if some variable has been assigned some constant value, then it replaces that variable with its constant value in the further program during compilation. For example, we have pi equal 3.14, radius equal 10, and area equal pi into radius. So at the time of compilation, we put these values, and at the time of execution, the execute at the time of execution, it will never be calculated, or it will never call the values assigned, and it will only perform some mathematical operation. Okay, so it will save our time. It will save our time. So in this technique, if some variables has been assigned some constant value, then it replaces that variable with its constant value in the further program during compilation. The condition is that the value of variable must not get altered in between. This is the point that we need to be that is the very important. For example, if we have pi, which is the value of pi is 3.14, the value of radius is 10, and we have to calculate the area, and we have put it this pi equal radius into radius in our programming. So at the time of compilation, it will do all type of compilation. It will put the value of pi, it will put the value of radius, and it will also and calculate the result. It will put these values. The result calculation is only done at the time of execution. So it at the time of execution, the execution time will get reduced, and it will obviously saves your it will always saves your runtime. Next one is common sub-expression elimination. Next technique for the code optimization is common sub-expression elimination. You can see here, we are not reducing the line of code. In this technique, we are not reducing the line of code. So if we say that in the code optimization, we are cutting the line of code, or we are reducing the line of code, no, it is not the correct answer. We are optimizing the line of code. While in the case of common sub-expression elimination, as name suggests, it involves the eliminating the common sub-expression. The redundant expressions are eliminated to avoid the recomputation or recompilation. The already computed result is used in the further program when required. We have a table, like if we have some value, s1 is equal to 4 cross I, s2 is equal to in s2 we have the value of a of s1, then s3 equal 4 into j. Then these are some line of code. So after the optimization, this s4 line of code, this s4 this s4 is a redundant expression. We are using here the value of s4. Here we are using also the value of s4. So we can replace this line of, we can eliminate this s4, and we can use the s1 in place of s4. Okay, so so we are reducing the line of code also, and with the help of this common sub expression elimination. We can take another example also. If we have an expression like x equal y plus z, or we have the expression like a equal b plus c plus d. Okay, and then we have some expression like x equal b plus c. So there is no need to calculate the value of x, there is no need to calculate the value of b plus c plus d in a equal b plus c plus d case. We just need to replace this x in place of this b plus c. So it will reduce your code, as well as it will reduce the when the code is reduced, then your program gets optimized. And if your program gets optimized, it will save your or it your time, and your program run faster. Code movement. In code movement, we can remove the code which are no need, or the which are if we can move your code in some other place, then it will also improve some it will also improve if we move. For example, if we move this code to outside of the loop, there is no need of this x equal y plus z here. There is no need of x equal y plus z here. But if it is in the loop, it will always gets calculated. So if it always get calculated, then we can remove this code from here to after this bracket or before this for loop. Okay. Okay, so with the help of this movement, we are performing some optimization. It means we do not need to calculate this x equal y plus z again and again in a loop. So in this technique, as the name suggests, it involves movement of the code. The code present inside the loop is moved out if it does not matter whether it is present inside or outside. Such a code unnecessarily gets executed again and again, which in each iteration of the loop, this leads to the wastage of runtime. Next one is your dead code elimination. In dead code elimination, you can see this example: I equal 0, and if I equal 1, then this line these line of code gets executed, but the value of I is 0. So, and we are not incrementing this value of I, so there is no use of this line of code. So if there is no need of this line of code, we can eliminate this line of code. Okay, we can use this. We can take another example of this dead code elimination. Like we have designed some methods, or we have designed some function which we are not using, or we are not calling. There is no need of this function. So what we can do, we can remove those line of code, so that your compilation, so your program will get smaller, and if your program gets smaller, there is less number of line has to compile, and the program run faster. Next is your strength reduction. This is, you can take this example. Here we are using b equal a cross 2. We can replace this cross as plus. Okay, why? the the cost of this multiplication is higher, and the cost of this addition is lower. So we can reduce this we can replace this cross 2 into plus a also. The result will be same. We are not changing the semantics of the program. We are not changing the algorithm of the program. We are getting the same result with this strength reduction technique. So as this in this technique, as name suggests, it involves reducing the strength of the expression. In this technique, replaces the expensive and costly operators with the simple and cheaper one. Next optimization is your loop optimization. Loop optimization is also one of the most important type of optimization in case of loop, especially in the inner loop, where program is spent in a bulk of their time. Okay, the running time of the program may be include if we decrease the number of instruction in the inner loop, even if we increase the amount of code in the outside of the code. What happens if we have a nested loop? So we have two loops, a loop inside loop. If the inner loop has some inappropriate code inside it, then it will hamper your outer loop also. So we, with the help of this loop optimization technique, we can optimize our loop, so that your program gets your program unnecessary loop will never run. In this case, code movement, we are using this line of code. Okay, we are using this line of code. Suppose if this line of code is inside some inner loop also, so we this line of code will execute in this loop as well as its inner loop also. So with the help of optimization, we can check these kinds of errors, if there are some optimization is needed, we perform those optimization, and with those optimization your program will be simpler and executes faster. So it is one of the most important type of optimization. In loop optimization, especially for the in the inner loop, the program spend a bulk of their time. The running of the program may be include if we decrease the number of instruction in the inner loop, even if we increase the amount of code outside of the loop. So there are various techniques for loop optimization like code motion. We have seen this code motion technique. This code motion and code movement is same. It moves the code outside of the loop. Induction variable definition. We have a tendency that we can design some variable inside some loop. So if we have designed some variable inside some loop, so it will be assigned, or it will be declared again and again. So with the help of this induction variable elimination, we can remove this variable declaration to outside of the loop, so in which we apply the eliminate induction variable from the inner loop. We can extend the reduction. This is same as we discussed earlier. Loop unrolling, it avoids the test. um, It avoids a test in every iteration by recognizing that the number of iteration is constant and replicating the body of the loop. So in loop unrolling technique, what we can do, we are not checking, or we are not testing on every iteration. Okay, if we are running a loop in I equal 1 to 10, so if we are running a loop I equal 1 to 10, and so every time we do not need to check whether the value of 2 is greater than 10 or less than 10. If the value of 3 is less than or greater than 10, so with the help of this loop of unrolling technique, we try to avoid these kinds of tests. In loop jamming, it it is to merge the body of the loop. For example, if we have two loop, like in nested loop we have, so we can merge these two loop to optimize our code. Okay, so in loop jamming, we try to merge the body of two loops in a loop, so that your program size, or your program code runs in a single iteration only. Okay, with the help of loop invariant, in this the computing inside the loop is avoided. So if we are doing this thing, if we are doing this line of code, x equal y plus z here, x equal y plus z here, there is no need to do this x equal y plus z here. We can remove this line of code, or if we need this line of code inside loop, this is our programming need. So we tries to eliminate this kind of programming practice. We try to do this job in a separate procedure, so that unnecessary line of code will never gets executed inside the loop. So these are some techniques related to loop optimization. How to do this thing, how to analyze the where the optimization is, how to analyze or when to perform this optimization. These tricks or these concepts we will discuss in our next lecture. But in today's lecture, we have seen what is optimization, some optimization techniques, what are the advantages, why optimization is needed, different types of optimization technique, what is loop optimization, and different types of loop optimization techniques. These are some references that I had used. So in case of any doubt or in case of any query, you can WhatsApp or you can email me. Although this is a very theoretical part, you can go through the entire slide, and in case of any doubt, you can ask me. Thank you very much.